The water remembers every scream, every sin, every secret whispered into its depths. It keeps them all. I have stood beside many rivers in my time, some choked with corpses of plague, others poisoned by greed. But there is one that runs deeper, darker, whispering a name older than any illness I ever treated. They say she drowned her children. I say she drowned a nation's guilt. Her wail is not a warning. It is a confession. We will follow her footsteps through the colonial canals of Mexico, the haunted valleys of Guatemala, and the cursed waters of Venezuela. And perhaps, if we listen long enough, we will learn what she truly mourns. Today, we open the case file on La Llorona, the weeping woman. I'm the plague doctor, and this is the Plague Doctor Files. Long before she had a name, she was a story whispered to children who lingered near water after dusk. Don't stray too close, the mothers would say. La Llorona waits for you. In the Mexican heartland, her form is always the same. A pale woman in white, her hair matted and dripping, eyes hollow from endless tears. Some say she wanders to reclaim her lost children, others that she seeks to punish those who forget their families or their faith. Her tale predates the conquest, older than Spanish tongues. Among the Nahua people, there was Cihuacoatl, the serpent woman who wept for her sons before the fall of Tenochtitlan. The Aztecs said her cries foretold ruin. When the conquistadors arrived, ruin came indeed, and her lament became prophecy fulfilled. After the conquest, stories merged like rivers into one current of grief. Spanish settlers recorded a woman in white, haunting Mexico City's canals. They called her La Mala Madre, the bad mother who drowned her children in a fit of despair when her Spanish lover abandoned her. Some say her name was Maria, a woman of mixed blood. She dreamed of crossing social barriers, but the cruelty of class and color forbade it. When her lover took a noble woman to wife, Maria's mind shattered. She carried her children to the water's edge, and the city awoke to her screams. From that night onward, they heard her voice echoing over the canals, crying, "Ay, mis hijos, my children." The priests said she was cursed until she found them again. I say she became a symbol for every soul crushed between conquest and conscience. Legends often mask truth. Behind La Llorona lie flesh and blood tragedies, catalogued in colonial archives. In 1550, a woman named Luisa de Olivares was tried in Mexico City for drowning her 2 children after her lover returned to Spain. Her ghost was said to walk near Lake Texcoco for decades after. In 1731, parish notes from Puebla mention a pale woman crying near the river, followed by disappearances of infants. And in 1848 in Guanajuato, townsfolk found a mother and child dead in a canal. The coroner recorded evidence of madness and guilt, while witnesses swore they saw another woman weeping over the bodies, then vanishing into mist. Each case feeds the same current: sorrow, betrayal, and water. As a physician, I once treated the body. Now I dissect the myth and find that grief is its beating heart. In 1935, the town of Xochimilco recorded dozens of sightings. A policeman claimed he saw a woman gliding above the canal. When he shone his lantern, she dissolved into fog, leaving behind a single wet footprint on the bow of his boat. In 1959, a schoolteacher in Querétaro awoke to a woman's voice calling her son's name from outside. She opened the door to an empty street, but found her boy sleepwalking toward the river. In 1986, a bus in Guadalajara swerved off a bridge when passengers panicked at the sight of a woman standing in the floodwaters. Survivors swore she wore a wedding veil. Whether phantom or human, something or someone has carried her cry through centuries. In Guatemala, they call her La Ciguanaba, once a woman who deceived a god, now cursed to appear as beauty by night and horror by dawn. In Costa Rica and El Salvador, she is a mother punished for infanticide, her cries echoing through sugarcane fields. In Venezuela, she becomes La Sayona, avenger of betrayed women, haunting faithless men. Each land reshapes her face, yet the river remains. The current of her sorrow flows from Mexico's canals to the Amazon's tributaries, carrying a warning that no sin sinks alone. Some scholars call La Llorona a colonial ghost, a means to control behavior, to frighten children from danger. Others see her as a collective conscience, mourning what the conquest destroyed, families, faiths, tongues. But grief does not obey reason. It evolves like disease, mutating to survive. Every generation inherits her, reshaping her wail into its own reflection of guilt. I have read case files of mothers who, overcome by despair, repeated the act, drowning their children and claiming La Llorona made them do it. Their tears are real, their ghosts perhaps contagious. The 1990s brought her into police reports. In Hermosillo, officers responding to cries near the canal found no one, yet their dash camera captured a figure in white crossing the frame. In 2007, a tourist in Oaxaca recorded an audio clip of wailing by the river. Experts found no animal or mechanical explanation. In 2013, a family in Veracruz fled their home after nightly cries came from their courtyard fountain. Water samples showed no anomaly, yet the family never returned. Even now, internet forums brim with recordings, shaky footage, midnight encounters. The legend persists because the sorrow it mirrors still thrives in us. I have walked battlefields, plague pits, and orphan wards. I have heard every form of human lament, yet none pierces the night like hers. Perhaps La Llorona is not a ghost, but a reflection. The cry of every mother who has lost, every child abandoned, every soul drowning in regret. When the wind rises and the rivers swell, listen closely. The wail you hear may not come from the water, but from within. Close your windows tonight, for the plague of sorrow travels faster than fever, and she never sleeps. I'm the plague doctor, and this file is closed.